Well, good evening and welcome to the library. I see we have some folks in the chat already, which is awesome. Thank you so much for dropping in and spending a Friday with me. So let's get this show on the road. But before we do that, we are going to take a trip across the pond to England's most haunted village, Pluckley Village. So it should be interesting. So stick around. We got a lot to cover. And if I have some time, I'll do a couple of paranormal videos. I only have a couple this week, so we should be able to fit them in. But let's see what's going on here. Let's start it with our intro. All right. Hello, 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 and welcome to the library. Let's get rid of this. And here we are, Lenny and I, and Victor back there on the shelf, hanging out on this Friday after Thanksgiving. So I hope everyone had a wonderful holiday, those that in America who are celebrating. I know I did, spending some time with family and eating way too much. So I hope you did too. Let me light our candles and then we'll get right to it. Because like I said, we have a lot to cover. Because the place we're going to talk about, Pluckley Village and the Screaming Woods in Kent, England, are considered the most haunted village and area in all of Great Britain. So pretty cool stuff. Let's shut that off. There we go. We have the right lighting. And let me say hello to everyone quickly before I get started. Hello, Adam Crevorcier. How are you? Don McHugh is in here for a little bit. Good to see you, my friend. Arlene is here. Gina is here. Delilah is here. Patrick is here. Todd Father hanging out for a little bit. Let me go through this. Bill C is here. Awesome. I saw William from Brooklyn. I see Tommy Stiggs, of course. I saw before Just Me. Welcome. I know you're new here, so I hope you enjoy this and come back again. Anyone else that I missed? Edwin was here. How are you, my friend? Good to see you. Bay Watcher, of course. Sven Larson. Great to see everyone. Awesome bunch of people, as usual. So, this I'm excited about tonight because this area, I have never encountered a story or an area with so many ghost stories compacted into a village. And the woods around it, which are called the Screaming Woods. So you have Puckley Village in Kent, England, Kent, Great Britain, which is in southeastern. And I'm going to show you that right now, just so you get a bearings of where we're talking about. This area is. Too bad James isn't here. I'm sure James knows this area. Here we go. As you can see, there is Pluckley right here. It's in southeastern England, right? Here is the Straits right here, and this is France in the right-hand corner. So it's south and east, but it's the countryside. And it's said to be the most haunted place in England, which is awesome. So we have to explore this. And I'm told that there are up to 15 different ghost stories that come out of this area. I'm not going to go through them all, but I do have a bunch of them. I think there's 16 actual ghosts, but I have 14 mini stories to tell you. I want you to get the full feel of what this place is like. Pluckley, England. All right. Now let's begin with the village itself. I want you to see what the village itself looks like, because it is in the countryside. If I could find it here. Here we go. I knew I had it. Here we go. So this is it's a quaint English village on the English countryside. Look at that. That's beautiful. You have a church over here, an old church. You have, older cottages and houses, and surrounded by farm over here. And on this side over here, you have the woods, which is called the Screaming Woods, which we're going to get into. That's one of the stories. So it just looks like a beautiful, quaint place to be. So it's ironic that there's so many ghost stories that come from this area. Hello, Shannon. Good to see you. Thank you for stopping in and saying hi. So let's start with, this is our village. And let's see what it looks like. I mean, let's go through the stories one at a time. And some of them are real short, like some of them are just legends. They don't have like a big backstory, or if they do, I couldn't find that big backstory. So let's start with the Screaming Man. Now, this is the first spirit, the Screaming Man. Now, the story goes that the Screaming Man was a worker who worked in the village doing brickwork, building one of the buildings at the time, one of the cottages or one of the structures, and had a dreadful accident where he unfortunately fell off where he was into a pit of mud, and then the clay wall that he was creating or building at the time collapsed on top of him and crushed him. And you could hear his screamings over and over again. It said that he eternally screams, his last screams you'll hear echoing through the area, and they've dubbed him the Screaming Man. Now, the time of this, I don't know when exactly this event happened. I think it was around the turn of the 20th century, so the early 1900s. So it's been quite a while. But he is known to scream his last screams over and over and over. And it's said that that is such a harrowing thing to hear over and over again, that they've dubbed him the Screaming Man. Okay, that's your first ghost in this village. Now, let's go on to The next one for Pluckley. Wait, it says Puckley on here. It's supposed to be Pluckley, Pluck. So I apologize for that. Anyway, let's get that off here. Anyway, we don't need that on here. We don't need that running. There we go. That's better. Okay. All right. The next story it's called The Spirit of the Highwayman. Now, if you know anything about English history, going back hundreds of years, their highwaymen were basically robbers that lived in the woods around in an area and would prey on people that would be passing through, rob them, do whatever evil things they did to these people passing through. And the whole tale of Robin Hood, they originally called him a highwayman because he was someone that was robbing people, robbing from the rich to give to the poor, but still a robber. He would rob them. So this is about a highwayman that lived in the woods, in the Screaming Woods, outside of Pluckley Village, and he would prey on the townspeople coming in and out. Whenever supplies would come in and out, this highwayman and his gang would prey and steal and rob these things, and eventually people ended up getting killed. Some people got killed. So it got to the point where the town people got together and they got the local sheriff and they hunted this gang down, killed most of them, and captured the leader of this gang, who's the highwayman, the ghost that they call the highwayman. They nailed him to a tree, ran him through with a sword, and eventually decapitated his head. And it's said that his spirit is seen in the Screaming Woods, wandering around the village, the edge of the village, in the wood area, moaning, looking for his head, making all kinds of noises, scary noises that come from the middle of the night. And people they'll see this headless spirit wandering around. And it is said that this is the remnants of the highwayman who the town got together and took care of, because he was causing such havoc and eventually killing some people in town. So they got rid of him and got their vengeance on him. So it seems like he is now around for eternity, stuck in the area of which he was nailed and run through a tree, and then decapitated his head. So quite a nasty spirit. He was nasty in life, and I guess he's nasty after life. All right, so that's number 2, your highwayman. Now, number three is a little bit complicated because there's different stories linking to this. But the bottom line is, some people say it's a gypsy woman, a spirit of a gypsy woman. Some people call this spirit the watercress lady. And the tale goes that this woman, an old woman, would sit by the river, the stream that goes through the town, through the outskirts of the town, on a bridge, and would smoke her wooden pipe. She had a wooden pipe that she would smoke, and she would sell watercress to anyone who came by. So she was basically a gypsy. I don't know if she was technically a gypsy, but she looked like one, I guess, dressed like one, kind of lived out there on her own in the woods, on the land, and would smoke her pipe, her wooden pipe. That's all she really would do, and then sell watercress to people willing to buy it. And it goes that she was so fond of her clay pipe that she would smoke that one night she fell asleep on the bridge with the pipe in her mouth, and the pipe fell into her clothes as she slept and burnt her up, and she ended up dying right there on the bridge in that area there. So many people say that they have seen the spirit of this watercress lady sitting on the bridge smoking a pipe. And again, her image is so clear that they think it's a real person. They don't even think it's a spirit until they approach it. They speak to it. It doesn't respond. It just smokes away and then will vanish. So an amazing experience if you could ever encounter that, I would say. But she's an elderly woman, the watercress lady, who inhabits the bridge around the creek or the river that goes on the outskirts of Pluckley Village. And there's also people have seen her as a a glowing pink spirit, they say. So those that have seen, some people have seen her in full form. It looks like an actual living being. Others see her as a pink glowing creature, apparition, a pink glowing apparition, in the sense pink like the pink of a tobacco in on fire in a pipe. If you ever see that type of pink color. So the elderly woman, gypsy woman, or watercress lady of Pluckley Village is our third spirit. Hello, Osada. Good to see you, my friend. All right, the fourth spirit is called the schoolmaster. Now, the schoolmaster, it is said, now there's two different stories for the schoolmaster in terms of the time period in which it happens. But both are consistent that he was a schoolmaster that taught the children of Pluckley Village. It is said that he was found hanging in his schoolroom, his one-room schoolhouse, by the children on one morning. And no one knows why he decided to take his own life. But people say that they see him wandering around the old schoolhouse in his black overcoat and striped pants, striped trousers, which used to be his signature. That's what he would wear every day. And they see him wandering around there at different times, basically looking melancholy and depressed. And the discrepancy here is that some of the tales say this took place in the 1800s, the death itself. Others say it took place after World War I, that he had come back from service in World War I, became a teacher, got overcome with depression from his experiences in World War I, and as a result, unalived himself, so to speak. So those are your two stories, but the bottom line is that there's the spirit of the schoolmaster, who is your fourth spirit of Pluckley Village. All right. The fifth spirit is simply called the walker. And this is an odd one because it's more like a poltergeist. It doesn't have a personality at all, doesn't have a backstory, only that it happens in and around one of the farmhouses in Pluckley Village, that you will smell burning wool or yarn, and then you'll encounter this type of activity where things will move and doors will open and windows will open, but it's always foreshadowed by the smell of burning wool or yarn, but there is nothing there. There's nothing burning and yarning. So it's called the walker because it seems to walk around. This phenomenon seems to walk around this particular farmhouse and circle it. So interesting. That's our fifth spirit. Doesn't have a name, doesn't have someone we can talk to or point to historically. Just it's a poltergeist that seems to be fixated around this farmhouse. And there seems to be something to do with burning wool and yarn, that this smell always happens before the activity happens. Things flying around, doors opening, windows moving, objects moving, stuff like that. So that's the walker. Hello, Tony the Night Owl. How are you? Good to see you. Glad you could come on in. All right. Now let's go on to our sixth spirit. Our sixth spirit is called the Red Lady. Now, the Red Lady inhabits St. Nicholas's Church. I'm going to show you what St. Nicholas's Church is in Pluckley Village, and it's an ancient church, a very old church, Anglican church, Church of England. Let me show you what it looks like. It's beautiful architecture. Hold on, we're getting there. We'll get there one at a time here. Here we go. Little by little, we'll get there. I have so many windows open for this stuff that at times I can't find it. Okay, here we go. This is what St. Nicholas's Church looks like. Like I said, it's Anglican or Episcopalian, we'd call them in the United States, Episcopalian. But it's basically the Church of England. And in this particular church, which you can see, it's beautiful architecture, beautiful ancient architecture. You have the Red Lady. Now, the Red Lady herself, who is she? Who is this spirit? And she's called the Red Lady because she's dressed in red. People see her in red gowns, which is interesting for a ghost. You know, you don't see that too many stories of that detailed, distinct color of red in a spirit. So I found that pretty interesting. Let's go. There we go. Let's go. All right. So what's the deal with the Red Lady? Who is the Red Lady? Why is she there? You know, what is going on here? Why is she in this church? Well, it is said that she is a descendant of the Daring family. Now, the Daring family owned all of this area. They were like the aristocracy of this area, the lords of this area. And she is in the Daring family line. She is said to be one of them. And it's said that she haunts St. Nicholas's church and the surrounding cemetery. So it has its own little graveyard, and that she wanders there because she's buried there. And she wanders there looking for her stillborn child who died at stillborn when she gave birth to it. And then she died right after. So they don't have her name. All they can say is that she's a Daring, and that this happened around 1100 AD, so very far back in time. And she was the Lord. She was part of the Lord's family, and had this tragic thing, and died in childbirth, the stillborn child, and then she dies as complications from childbirth. And her spirit is tied to this area, to this church, because it is said that this is where she was buried and her stillborn child was buried. So she wanders wailing at night, wailing in pain for her lost child. So creepy, depressing type of story, but quite interesting to see a red ghost like that dressed in red. So that was your sixth ghost. She is in this church, and I'm going to leave St. Nicholas up there because there's a second lady in this church, a second ghostly lady that haunts this church. Now the seventh ghost, she's the seventh ghost in our story. She is called the White Lady. Now we've heard White Lady stories all over the world, all over the country, all over the United States, England, all over the world. There's always White Ladies stories. This White Lady is said to be buried under this church, in a sarcophagus under this church, in that she will rise and wander. Now, there isn't much of a backstory to the White Lady, only that she's dressed in white and that people see her wandering. She's not a mournful spirit or anything like that, not an evil spirit, just a spirit that seems to wander and walk around at times, and that she was buried under there in a sarcophagus. Who knows? But she's the second spirit that inhabits St. Nicholas's church. So very interesting there. Two female spirits that are haunting this church. All right, so that's St. Nicholas's church and their ghosts. So now we're up to our eighth ghost. Now, for our eighth ghost, we're going to go outside the village. We're going to go to the Screaming Woods. Like I said at the beginning, the Screaming Woods is on the outskirts. Now, let me show you what the Screaming Woods look like. Now, these Screaming Woods are known to have plenty of fog all the time. Big surprise, right? England, Great Britain, known for fog. But this area in question is very dense, and when the fog comes in, it's very hard to see anything at all in the forest, in the woods. So let me put this on full screen so you can take a good look at this. This is a picture of the woods, the Screaming Woods. That's one of the pictures of the Screaming Woods. Did I have another one? I don't know if I did. I don't think so. Here. But anyway, so the Screaming Woods. Oh, wait, I do have another one. Hold on. Let's get rid of this one. And I want to show you this one. This is a picture of when the fog rolls in. So it's, if I could find it, I don't know what I'm doing here. I missed that one. Hold on. I don't know how that happened. Anyway, having a little problem here. I don't know. All right. Well, I missed that. I can't show you that one. I don't know how that happened. Anyway. All right. So, but anyway, the fog comes in this area. So the Screaming Woods. Now, why is it called the Screaming Woods? The Screaming Woods is because there's so many sounds and screams and moans and ghostly activity that happens in these woods. They're actually called the Daring Woods, based on the name of the Lord family, the royal, not royal, the the aristocracy family that owned this area, the Daring Woods, and over time it gained the name of Screaming Woods because of all of the screaming and noises and activity that comes and happens in these ghostly woods, especially when the fog rolls in. So it's quite a creepy experience to be in these woods. And the ghost I want to talk about now is called the Colonel. Now, this Colonel is the spirit of a 18th century colonel, red coat, like you would see in the American Revolution, a colonel at that time, so 1700s, 18th century, who seems to have wandered into these woods and took his own life. Nobody knows why, but he did. He was depressed or unhappy or what have you, took his own life. And since that point, his spirit has been seen wandering between the trees. That he'll swerve between and in and out of the trees, sometimes floating, sometimes walking on the ground. So the Colonel really inhabits. He's the main spirit that people see in the Screaming Woods, but there's so much activity there beyond that. He's the apparition that people tend to see in the Screaming Woods. Now, I'm going to show you a picture right now of the Screaming Woods. This was a picture taken, and you can be the judge of what it is. It's in the midst of the fog, so I don't know what it is, but I'm going to show you this picture, and you'd be the judge if you think if this is a spirit or what it is. Hold on. Here we go. Okay, here we go. This is a picture taken in the Screaming Woods. And as you can see, the fog seems to be taking the shape of something here, kind of like a head. This is the head. Here's the back. Here are the arms of someone bending over. At least that's how it's described. That this is the ghostly shape of something or someone in the Screaming Woods. Now, whether it's the Colonel or not, I do not know. Let's see here. Hey, Deborah Roberts, good to see you. Cranky, good to see you. Yeah, there's something here. I don't know exactly what that is, but that's something that was in the photograph taken in the Screaming Woods in the midst of the fog. So, yeah, Tony, I think it does look like a face, right? It does look like a face of someone. So, who knows? Is this the Colonel? I don't know. But something was there when this was taken. It's not just regular fog. It's fog that's creating something. All right. So, all right, let's go. Let's go back here. Let's get rid of this. All right. Now back to me. Here we go. Okay, so that was the Colonel. Now let's go on to the 9th ghost. The 9th ghost is called the Lady of Rose Crown. Now, this one, hold on here. I want to show you where Rose Crown, what Rose Crown. Rose Crown is a building. It's a tavern, I guess. Now, I guess it's a tavern in the village. And let me see. Rose Crown. Here it is. Okay, here we go. Now let me show you what it looks like. This is what the inn looks like, the Rose and Crown Inn. And it's said that it's haunted by a spirit of a woman who poisoned herself over a love triangle that her betrothed had decided to fall in love with another woman, so who was her friend at the same time. You know the story. It's a classic story. And as a result, she ended up poisoning herself with poison berries and dying in that building and is said to haunt it. So she's the Lady of Rose Crown. So that's our ninth ghost. Just your run of the mill love triangle that ends with tragedy. All right. All right, now let's go on to the 10th ghost. The tenth ghost takes place or resides in a place called Black Horse Tavern or Black Horse Inn, which is also located in Pluckley Village. Now, let me get you a picture of that so you could see what the place looks like. I think I have a picture of it here somewhere. Here it is. Okay, here we go. The Black Horse Inn is coming up. This is a public house, a tavern. Black Horse Inn. You can stay up in the top. At the beginning, on the first floor, there is a bar, there is food, and on the second floor is you could stay there. It's a public house. So, and this is in the town or in the village of Pluckley. Now, this building is 300 years old, so it's an old building, very old structure. It used to be the farmhouse. It used to be a farmhouse, or it was a farmhouse was there, I guess, which was owned by a bailiff, a local bailiff. And it said that his spirit might be haunting this place because what will happen is glasses will move around in the place. Glasses will move on their own. Cutlery will be thrown about all over the place. Again, not a fun experience, I guess, if you own the place and all of your cutlery is being thrown all over the place and glass is being broken by this spirit. They say that dogs that come into this building will stare and bark at empty spaces. Will just stare there and start barking, and you'll see nothing there. And in fact, there is a room on the second floor where dogs will not go in. No dog will enter. Simply will not enter. So it's assumed that there's some type of presence in that room because the dogs will not go in there. And then there's also been accounts of things disappearing before your very eyes in this building, where you might be sitting at a table and suddenly your candlestick will just disappear. And then you'll be in shock because it's gone. You can't tell where it went. And then it will reappear in another part of the room, maybe 10, 15 minutes later. So really wacky stuff going on in the Black Horse Inn in Pluckley Village. And that's probably the spirit of the bailiff that owned the farmhouse that was here prior to the Black Horse Inn being built. So it's going back hundreds of years, centuries, because this building alone is 300 years old. So really, really old stuff. When you're talking about England, you're talking about Europe, you're going to get into these really, really old stories, old buildings, a lot older than anything in the United States, obviously. So a lot of opportunity for ghosts and spirits to accumulate, right? And build up. So, all right. So that was number 10. Now, number 11 is a bunch of ghosts together. It's a bunch of monks, the ghosts of monks who were said to be assigned to St. Nicholas's Church. And there used to be a building that was a rectory cottage next to the church where they would live. And it is said that in 1863, it burned down and many died. So Now in its place, there's something called Greystone House. And it is said that the monks are seen in Greystone House. Now, I found a picture of Greystone House. I believe this is it. Hold on here. Let's see. Let me show you. I have a picture of what Greystone House looks like. All right. Here we go. As you can see, it's all stone and pretty old, but it was built on top of where the rectory had burned down. And as a result, people will see spirits of monks wandering around in this area. Now, whether those monks died in the fire or whether they were there prior to the fire, who knows? Like I said, that took place in 1863, and then this building was built not too long after that. So later 1800s, this was built. So the wandering monks is what they're called. This group of spirits that hang out in this part of the town where there was the rectory to St. Nicholas's Church. All right. That was number 11. All right, let's go on to number 12. Now, remember the name During? I told you the name During, which was the royal or the lord, the lord of the area. There was a place called Daring Arms. Daring Arms. Now, Daring Arms used to be a hunting lodge that family would use. Now it's another type of pub or inn. And it said that this is haunted by a woman wearing a bonnet, much like you'd see like a pilgrim woman bonnet, that square looking thing with that period type of dress, that Puritan looking type of dress. Excuse me. But let me show you what Daring Arms looks like. It's a pretty cool building. It was, like I said, it was the hunting lodge of this family, this aristocrat family here. Kind of looks like a little castle. It's kind of cool. But now you can stay there and eat there and such. It's, for tourists and anyone passing through the village can go in and stay there, which is pretty cool. And it's haunted by this woman who wears a bonnet. Customers say that she sits at the bar at times drinking, and she's so distinct. Her image is and her manifestation is so distinct that they think she's a real person. And often people will not even notice. They'll just assume that she's just another patron sitting at the bar until she vanishes. So I would love to be in that type of situation where I encountered a spirit that I think is real person and then they just vanish. That would be amazing experience. I don't know if I'll ever encounter that, but that sounds pretty cool. But this woman, they don't know who she is. They don't. It doesn't have a backstory. Only that she is always sitting at the bar, always drinking. What she's drinking, I don't know. They didn't say. I doubt it was liquor because of her dress. She was she's dressed like a Puritan. I doubt she'd be drinking liquor. Who knows what she's drinking? Maybe milk. I don't know what she's drinking, but she's always sitting there drinking and will vanish in front of people's eyes. So kind of cool. Bobo, good to see you, my friend. Sliminy, good to see you too. Excellent. Thank you for joining. Sorry, so that was number 12. That was Daring Arms and the Bonnet Lady ghost. Okay. Number 13 is this is just a ghostly carriage. Now, it is said that if you're walking through the village at night, you'll hear the clopping of horses, just the random clopping of horses. You'll look around and you'll see nothing. You'll just hear the hoofs of horses clopping along and the wheels of carriages. You'll hear this at any moment, at any time, and you will see nothing. Now, some people have said that they've seen this ghostly carriage materialize. And when it does, it is quite a fancy carriage, much that royalty would be in it. It's driven by horses, and it glows with light. In other words, there's a light, as if there's a life source in the carriage that beams outside of the window. So quite a wacky experience for those who encounter the ghostly carriage. And although you can hear the carriage at any part of the village at any time, you only can see the carriage at Maltman's Hill, which is a part of the village. So if you're there and you're looking for to see the ghostly carriage, you got to go to that specific area, because that's where they say is the only place it materializes. Other than that, you just hear it. So why that's the case, I don't know. I couldn't find out anything as to why that would happen that way, but that's the way it does. All right. So that was your 13th ghost. And then the 14th ghost is just more so about the woods, because there isn't, other than the colonel in the woods, there are all these different noises and screams and disembodied voices, whispers, singing, you name it, that happens in the woods. And some people say the theories behind this, other than the colonel story, is because it's well beyond one person. Everything that you hear, it's different. Everything is different. It's all, some are women's voices, some are children's voices, some are men's voices. So it can't be just one specific spirit that's making these noises. And you will hear footsteps all the time in the woods, coming from the woods, as if people are rustling through the woods. You'll look and there'll be nothing. Now, they say there are several theories about the woods and why it's this way. One is that these are the souls of people that got lost and perished in the woods, that just never made it out of the woods, went into the woods and then, starved to death or whatever in the woods. Now, there's a couple other stories. Now, in 1948, kind of relatively recent, considering what we're talking about, there were 20 bodies discovered in the woods there. Now, this isn't a legend. This is an actual real story. That 20 bodies were found in the woods, and there were men, women, and children. And an investigation was done, and it was discovered around Guy Fawkes Day, and I think that's in November sometime. I think it's actually in November, Guy Fawkes Day. But anyway, 20 bodies were discovered there. Now, here's where the legend and the speculation comes. What happened? How did this happen? The official record is that these people died of carbon monoxide poisoning. I don't know how that's possible in the woods, and I don't know. And if that is true, how did the bodies get there? How could they have done that in the woods? But anyway, that's the official story. They died of that. Legend has it that these were all victims of occultists in the woods who were practicing devil worship. Who knows? I don't know. That's 1948, and that's said to be one of the sources of all the screams and noise and ghostly activity in the woods, in the screaming woods. And then in 1998, relatively recent, right? 25 years ago, maybe 30 years ago, something like that. 4 people disappeared. 4 college students disappeared in the screaming woods. And it said when that happened, strange lights resembling a spider web appeared. And many people saw this, that it was like a glowing spider web in the woods itself, but it was huge. It was a huge spider web glowing at night. And somehow whatever that paranormal activity is said to be linked to these 4 college students who vanished and have never been seen from again. So you decide, what the source is of the screaming woods. Is it the colonel? Is it the occultists who took so many lives there? Or is it these 4 people that disappeared into this paranormal web? Who knows? Just very bizarre stuff. But you could see, these are 14 different stories that all took place in this little Pluckley village and the woods around it, that have dubbed it to be the most haunted place in the United Kingdom or in Great Britain. So quite a fascinating place to go and visit. There's ghosts of all shapes and sizes there for you. Whatever your interest is, you can check it out. So that's your story. There you go. 14 ghosts of Puckley Village and the screaming woods that surround it. Oh, here's did I find another one? Let's see. Did I find another? Oh, I thought I found it. No, I don't have that other picture of the woods. Yeah, okay, good. We're good. All right, so that's your story. So I hope you enjoy it. Hello, Sigi. Deborah Roberts, good to see you. Kelly, good to see you. So I don't know if I missed anyone. I don't want to miss anyone. I hope everyone had a wonderful Thanksgiving and you're just chilling today. That's what I did. Wasn't feeling too well. I ate a little too much, but you know. Let's see. Delilah says UFO, maybe. Yeah, I don't know. That who knows? The UFO stuff, with the spider web type of stuff could very well be. Did I miss anyone? I hope I did not. By the way, Slim is probably going on next. I think he is. 10 o'clock is usually when he goes on Friday. So check him out. Slim, I know you're here. So drop your link if you can so people can follow you and check you out. Check out what's going on tonight. Yeah, Lenny is Lenny. As you can see, Lenny didn't eat too much. He's got an eating disorder, I think. Right? Stony Tony, how are you, my friend? Good to see you. Tony made a pizza. Tony the Night Owl made a pizza. Did you ever see that cartoon? It's a cartoon about turkeys and the first Thanksgiving. I forgot what it's called. My kids used to watch. I forgot what it was called, but they go back in time and they take turkey off the menu and they turn it into pizza. So that's what that just reminded me of. So this is on Thanksgiving. All right. Oh, so we have a couple more minutes. So let me go through these. I have two paranormal videos that I'll show you, and you tell me what you think. All right, here we go. Only two today. In the past I've had much more, but I didn't have much time to search and scour the internet for these things because they're not that easy to find anymore. All right, let's see what we got here. All right, here's one. Let's pull this one up. All right, here we go. This is recorded in an empty room, an empty schoolroom. Now, it happened pretty quickly. Now it's going to show you again. Now look at the figure that walks towards the camera right here. Look at this. Look at this. Did you see that? Here we go. Let's go back. It looks like it has no head. Look at this. Now, even if this was some type of like camera reflection type of thing, where's the head on this sucker? Where is this head? Where's the head? So here it is. Like it starts over here, right? It seems to materialize over here, right? And then it starts walking towards the camera. Camera's panning. Here's an arm. Here's like the neck, no head. Here's the other arm. Here are the legs. You see the legs moving. I don't know. Again, let's look at it again. And the shoulders, the neck, and no head. Shoulders, neck, no head. Just me. Yes, the backstory is that the cameraman did not see anything. Saw this on the film afterwards. Was just panning through this empty schoolhouse room, and this is what showed up when they went back and looked at the footage. Yeah, and didn't encounter anything. There was no, no physical encounter, no hearing anything, no seeing anything. Just this showed up on the film after they left. So creepy as can be. So I don't know. That's one that I can't debunk this one. This is one that's not easy to debunk. Some of them you can easily debunk by coming up with a legitimate reason for it, and some of them are obvious. So I can't come up with a legitimate reason or explanation. It's either fake or it's something, and I don't know how you fake this. I guess you could do anything if you want to, but the fact that it materializes and then it walks and then there's no head there, I don't know. It's just this one's kind of believable to me. So all right. Let's go on to our second one. All right, that was that. All right, let's see this one here. This one's in a restaurant. So here we go. Present, share screen. This is kind of small, but I'll play it anyway. See if you can see anything. I don't think you can see that. It's too small. Darn it. Let me see something. If you bear with me a second, let me see if I can enlarge it, because it is an apparition that materializes and walks, but it's really small in here, so I don't think you can see it. Let me see if I can make this a little bit larger. I need to go back to the original film here on my phone and see if I can, because I can't do it in StreamYard. StreamYard doesn't allow me to, or at least it doesn't look like it allows me to. Hold on, here we go. Let me try this. This should be better. All right, hold on. We're getting there. Let me stop. Let me stop this. Stop this. Okay. Here, let's try this. This might be better. I think this is going to be better. Okay, here we go. Reshare my screen. Here we go. That's much better. Okay. Now watch to the right over here where this table is. Oh, this is actually, no, this is not a restaurant. This is someone's house. This is just kitchen written up here, and this is their their kitchen area, and over here is like a little couch. So it's someone's small house. Now watch over here as they play this and see what you see over here. Look at that. It's like a blurred image that comes from the doorway over here over to this side of the chairs. I don't know. I guess that could be a person in fast motion. I don't know about that. Yeah. Yes, Tony passes the table. Yep. Adam sees it. Bobo sees it. I think that could be somebody just blurring. Like it could have been going by so fast that it blurs. I'm not sure. Like the head would be over here. It's like kind of like a short person. There you go, like a small person, not a tall person. Kind of just blurring past. It's hard to say because you don't have anything else in the video that's living to compare it to. You know, it's hard to say that. I don't know. I mean, this one is not as convincing as the other one. The other one, I'm kind of baffled on. This one, I think it could be just the camera. Someone blurring past the camera here. It's very short, as you can see. Let's stop it here. See, now this changes here, right? Look at this. I'm seeing something. Here we go. I think we're. Look over by the chair. Look over by the chair here. Look at this area here, right? Watch how it changes as I proceed with this. See this? There's something going on over here. I don't know what that means. Hi, Suzanne. Good to see you. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. This one, I'm trying to debunk this one. Hold on. What is happening over there by the chair, right? And like kind of like you could see there's something over here. Like it's as if there's someone over there by the chair, right? Behind the chair. And proceeds from the chair, right? I don't know. But it's like here, flash there, flash, like Adam says, like the flash, flash to over here. And here's why I think it's a person. You see that light over there by the chairs, by the spoked chairs to the right? When it passes, that light is completely, look at that, completely gone. The person, it's like a person passing through it and obstructing the light completely. I would think that if it was a spirit or a ghost, it wouldn't, you'd probably still see the light or something of that to that effect. I don't know. Okay. So I don't know. You make the choice. As always, you make your determination. I think this could be just someone and a camera glitch here. I don't know. But I don't think a ghost would obscure the light like that. So I'm saying I'm going to go with this being a person. And somehow the camera angle blurred it. The camera may have blurred the person going by, or who knows. But it's still a creepy looking type of experience. All right, there you have it. Those were my two. I only had two this evening, so I think the first one was more convincing. But whatever. You make your own determinations, right? Piece of cloth. Yeah. Mm-hmm. You can see the light dimly through it. Yeah. So I don't know. But anyway, that's what we have for this evening. So I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you liked Pluckley Village, quite a creepy location. I haven't encountered anything with so many ghost stories before. That's when I heard about it. I said I got to do a show on this because it's fascinating that there's so many ghosts concentrated, so many different types of ghost stories concentrated in one village like that, a small countryside English village. So I hope you all had a good time, and tune into Slim next. If you have nothing else to do, you want to hang out, his show's great. And like I said, I hope everyone had a great Thanksgiving. Those that celebrate it, those that are from another country, hope you just had a great Friday or a great Thursday. But as always, I appreciate each and every one of you stopping by, spending time with me, and I will see you again next time. And until then, I say, stay scared as I blow out my candles, and I say, God bless each and every one of you. On behalf of Lenny and Victor, we say good night. There's one, and there's two. Good night.